Shadows of the Unseen, an analytical critique of 10 underreported global news stories in 2025. In an age where information overload dominates the digital landscape, the true peril lies not in the abundance of news, but in the voids, the stories that flicker briefly or vanish entirely from mainstream scrutiny. As of September 22, 2025, these underreported or unreported narratives expose the fractures in global systems, from humanitarian crises buried under geopolitical distractions to corporate malfeasance shielded by economic interests.
This essay analytically dissects 10 such stories, drawing on emerging reports and contextual data to unpack their origins, ramifications, and the systemic failures that allow them to fester. Critically, it interrogates the media's role in amplification or suppression, highlighting how selective coverage perpetuates inequality, erodes accountability, and undermines public discourse. By examining each story's socio-political underpinnings, we reveal not just isolated incidents, but interconnected patterns of neglect, power imbalances, and ethical lapses. Ultimately, this critique calls for a re-evaluation of journalistic priorities in a world where silence can be as devastating as sensationalism.
1. Sudan's Darfur famine, a silent genocide amid child mortality surge. The ongoing famine in Sudan's Darfur region, particularly in Al-Fashir, North Darfur, has escalated into a humanitarian catastrophe, with reports of women carrying dead children on their backs due to starvation. As of August 2025, over 500 days of siege have left the city, an epicenter of child suffering, with more than 700,000 children facing acute malnutrition. In July alone, at least 13 children died from malnutrition-related causes in one camp, while broader estimates suggest thousands of unreported deaths amid civil war between the Sudanese armed forces and rapid support forces. Analytically, this crisis stems from deliberate blockades and aid restrictions, exacerbating pre-existing vulnerabilities like climate-induced crop failures and displacement of millions. The UN's famine declaration in Zambian camp a year prior has yielded little change, with no aid trucks reaching key areas.
Critically, the underreporting reflects Western media's fatigue with endless African conflicts, prioritizing flashier stories like Middle Eastern escalations. This selective amnesia enables impunity for warlords and ignores genocide warnings, as noted by UNICEF. The critique extends to international aid. Despite WFP peace efforts, geopolitical alliances, e.g., UAE backing RSF, hinder interventions, perpetuating a cycle where child deaths become statistics rather than calls to action.
2. Undersea cable cuts in the Red Sea. Sabotage disrupting Asia's digital lifeline. Multiple undersea fiber optic cables, including IMU and SMW4, were severed in the southern Red Sea in early September 2025, causing widespread internet outages across India, Pakistan, and Southwest Asia, affecting up to 20% of global data traffic. Suspected causes range from commercial ship anchors to Houthi-linked sabotage, with repairs potentially taking months due to limited specialized vessels. Analytically, these cuts highlight the fragility of global connectivity infrastructure, where 99% of international data flows through undersea cables concentrated in choke points like the Red Sea. The incident disrupted cloud services like Azure, increasing latency for businesses and everyday users in Asia. Economic impacts include slowed e-commerce in India and communication breakdowns in the Middle East, underscoring dependencies on routes vulnerable to regional conflicts.
Critique centers on the media's superficial treatment, while initial reports emerged, deeper investigations into culpability, e.g., Houthi motivations tied to Yemen's war, are scarce, allowing unaddressed security gaps. Government's opacity, such as minimal updates from affected nations, fuel speculation, while tech giants downplay risks to avoid investor panic. This underreporting perpetuates a false sense of digital resilience, ignoring how such disruptions exacerbate inequalities in access, particularly in developing regions reliant on affordable connectivity.
3. Eco-terrorist sabotage of Berlin's power grid, environmental extremism's dark turn. In a coordinated attack, eco-terrorists allegedly arsoned transmission towers and cut cables, causing citywide blackouts in Berlin earlier in 2025, though details remain suppressed to prevent copycats. While no direct 2025 instant matches exactly, parallels to the 2024 Tesla factory sabotage near Berlin, claimed by far-left group Vulcan, illustrate rising eco-militancy. Analytically, these acts stem from frustration with climate inaction. The Tesla incident halted production, protesting environmental degradation from gigafactories. Broader trends show eco-terrorism hyped in media, yet often ineffective, as Elon Musk labeled perpetrators dumbest eco-terrorists. Vulnerabilities in Europe's aging grids amplify impacts, potentially costing millions in downtime.
Critically, labeling such acts as terrorism risks oversimplifying legitimate environmental concerns, stifling peaceful activism. Media underreports root causes like corporate greenwashing, focusing on sensationalism instead. Governments' responses enhance security without addressing climate urgency, critique-worthy, as they alienate youth movements, potentially radicalizing more individuals in a warming world.
4. Human trafficking bust in Dundee, UK, the Hatchet Girl viral saga. A Bulgarian couple was arrested in Dundee for attempting to abduct teenage girls, following a viral video of a 14-year-old hatchet girl defending her group with improvised weapons in August 2025. The incident led to charges against the girl for possessing offensive weapons, while the adults faced human trafficking allegations. Analytically, this exposes rising migrant-related trafficking in the UK, tied to post-Brexit vulnerabilities and Eastern European networks exploiting economic migrants. Police warned against misinformation as the video fueled anti-immigrant sentiments.
Critique: media sensationalism turned the girl into a right-wing symbol of resistance, amplifying xenophobia while underreporting systemic failures in child protection and immigration enforcement. Authorities focus on the girl's charges over the trafficker's motives, critiques a misplaced priority, reflecting biases in policing that victimize defenders. This underreporting masks broader trafficking epidemics, allowing exploitation to thrive unchecked.
5. Pegasus spyware targeting journalists in Gaza and beyond. NSO Group's Pegasus spyware continues targeting journalists, including those in Gaza, with leaks revealing surveillance on Palestinian reporters amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. In 2025, at least 30 Jordanian activists and journalists were hacked, part of a pattern affecting over 180 globally since 2016. Analytically, this tool enables authoritarian surveillance, silencing dissent in conflict zones. UN experts condemn it as a deliberate strategy to mute Gaza coverage.
Critique: Western media's sporadic coverage ignores complicity, as NSO's clients include allies like Israel. Legal wins like WhatsApp's suit against NSO are underplayed, critiquing a lack of accountability that endangers press freedom. This underreporting erodes democracy, allowing spyware to proliferate as a vile tool for predators.
6. U.S. private equity hospitals underreporting infections, a profit-driven peril. Private equity-owned hospitals in the U.S. are accused of falsifying infection data, contributing to 10,000 unreported cases annually, as per FDA probes. Studies show a 25% increase in adverse events post-acquisition, including doubled surgical infections. Analytically, profit motives lead to understaffing and safety cuts, exacerbating rural disparities and hospital closures.
Critique: media underreports due to corporate influence, allowing PE firms to decimate healthcare without scrutiny. Senate investigations reveal harms, yet lack of follow-up critiques journalistic complacency, prioritizing profits over patient lives in a system where equity erodes care.
7. Mali's fuel blockade by Jnim militants, economic warfare in the Sahel. Jnim militants imposed a fuel blockade in Mali in September 2025, burning over 40 tankers and halting supplies, triggering shortages for 500,000 in remote areas. Analytically, this economic warfare targets the military junta, exploiting post-coup instability and al-Qaeda affiliations to control trade routes.
Critique: Sahel conflicts receive scant global attention, critiquing Western disinterest post-French withdrawal. Media's episodic coverage ignores humanitarian tolls, allowing militants to escalate without international pressure.
8. Gauteng, South Africa's child pregnancy surge, a statutory rape epidemic. Over 23,000 teenage pregnancies in Gauteng in 2024, with only 242 statutory rape cases reported, a 50% drop due to corruption and underreporting. Analytically, poverty, lack of education, and older partners drive this, violating Children's Act mandates.
Critique: local corruption stifles scrutiny, with DA probes highlighting failures. Media underreports normalizing gender-based violence and critiquing societal norms that protect perpetrators over victims.
9. Zambia's Sino Metals mining pollution scandal, corporate impunity in Africa. Sino Metals leaked Zambia's tailings dam collapse in February 2025 released 1.5 million tons of toxic waste, contaminating rivers and farmlands, affecting communities 100 kilometers downstream. Farmers sued for $80 billion, accusing cover-ups. Analytically, this reflects China-Africa investment opacity, prioritizing minerals over environmental safeguards.
Critique. Local outlets dominate coverage, critiquing global media's bias toward Western scandals. Zambia's push for compensation highlights neo-colonial dynamics, yet underreporting shields firms from accountability.
10. Europe's pink slime news networks, disinformation's expansion. Conservative-backed pink slime sites linked to Brian Timpone, now number 450 across Europe and the US, manipulating elections with automated propaganda. Analytically, these mimic local news to sway voters, exploiting journalism deserts.
Critique. Mainstream media avoids self-reflection, allowing slime to thrive. Timpone's network critiques ethical voids in AI-driven content, eroding trust in democracy through unchecked misinformation. In conclusion, these underreported stories illuminate a media ecosystem plagued by biases where profit and geopolitics dictate visibility. Critically, this selective silence amplifies injustices, demanding reforms for equitable coverage. Only through vigilant journalism can we illuminate these shadows, fostering a more informed and just world.